Hello, freaks, geeks, and basement dwellers and nerds. Welcome to the One Nerd Zone. I'm Scruff, and this is Scruff Tales. This is a new version of video for me. I have never done this type of video before. And I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in concerning butt lifts. I wanted to make a longer video referencing Matt Easton at Schola Gladiatoria, Scalagrim, Celsius, and their opinions why the butt lift works. But I'm away from the computer for a couple of days, so I can't really make that video. So I figured, well, I want to make something about it, and I wanted to include me making kind of this section in that video. But I'm gonna jump the gun and make it here and now anyway, ahead of that video. And this video is kind of a response to a commentator, to a comment who thought the butt lift was useless. It doesn't work, right? And his opinion, and he links back on that he is a HEMA professional or HEMA practitioner. So he understands playing with swords to scoring points with referees all around him. Training, historical European martial arts, which is perfectly fine. But I'm going to throw my 2 cents in. So he's in the corner of Shadiversity, that butt lift sucks. I'm in the corner of Celsius Arts, that it's actually a functional weapon and that it has some credibility to it. So what am I going to lean back on is my brief stint in military service and how to use a assault rifle with or without a bayonet in close combat. So using a steel weapon to, with excessive force, bring down an opponent with maximum use of violence. That's what I'm going to lean back on. Not an expert, but there are a couple of basic moves with an assault rifle, with or without the bayonet, that you use or that you train for use in close combat. To make it simple, you're going to drill in muscle memory so that you easily fall back to instinct and just go with these moves, these maneuvers to bring down an opponent. And basically, 4 simple steps in how to use the rifle with the bayonet. And as I will show you, they will apply to the butt lift. So what is the primary thing you do with a rifle if you end up in close combat, with or without the bayonet? It is the thrust, where you have your rifle. You might go low, you might be ready, shoulder coming around the corner, or going around the corner, low stance. And what you do is strike out with the thrust. Not at the chest. This is where you have plate carriers, flak vests, magazines, pouches, all kinds of gear, radios. So what you're doing is you're using your body's natural motion in extending your arms. If I do this, you see, where does that rifle end up? And the bayonet, right? Face and throat, where a soldier does not have protection in the modern era. Back in the day you had helmets, but in the modern era, a soldier does not have face protection. So rifle, with or without bayonet, thrust into the face. A rifle without a bayonet is, of course, a steel rod that you're shoving into that guy's face. You're going to break cheekbones, teeth are going to go flying, might break a jaw, cut an eye, stuff like that, pop an eye out, right? It's even without the bayonet, it's going to hurt. So we established this. You go here, use natural movement of the body, drill this so that it becomes muscle memory. Shit, someone's upon me, go straight out into the face. From here, where do you go from here? Well, you can keep stabbing, of course, but what you can do is switch grip to hold the what's called buttstock, and from here, go in with a strike with the rifle stock. And again, as you can see, it's shoulder height, natural movement. It's almost as if it's natural instinct. It's almost as if the body is designed to strike another human in the head. So rifle stock, boom, to the face. Again, cheekbone, jaw, teeth, nose broken. So boom, boom. And from here, the next step is a cut. If you have a bayonet, go with the cut. As you can see, again, where do you end up? Face and throat. If you don't have a bayonet, use it as a iron pipe. You go with the strike, and again, as you can see here, face, cheekbone, nose, teeth, jaw, collarbone, even a strike through throat can be devastating. It can cause swelling, and if the throat swells up, blood will not go to the brain, air will not go into the lungs. So you still get effect. So thrust, strike, cut, and from here you can do rinse and repeat. So thrust, strike, cut, thrust, strike, cut. It just keeps on going with the muscle memory. But you have one fourth option, and that is the magazine. So if you're holding it by the rifle stock and you go, you can actually strike out with a magazine. Again, into this area, and getting a magazine over a nose ridge, it's gonna hurt. Getting a magazine into your mouth is gonna hurt. So we have these four main attacks using in modern combat techniques: rifle and bayonet. You're stepping through a doorway or whatever, someone comes up close to you, you can, with the magazine, jab, get distance and either engage, or come down with a cut and do the thrust. Everything face lift. And even if you come in low, you can strike out, right? You're holding the gun low as you come in around the corner, strike out with the barrel or the bayonet, head area, face area, throat. Now, is it such a far stretch to imagine that we replace the rifle and the bayonet with the curved bat'leth? Where do we end up? In a much better position for close combat. Lo and behold. Weird, huh? So yes, you can't shoot with the thing, which is, you have to switch between weapons, but Klingons usually have the bat'leth and a disruptor pistol. Disruptor pistols are far more devastating than any firearms we have today. So it's a good gun, small gun, lots of effect on target, loads of ammo in it, and having that back of the bat'leth kinda can be excused in this context. Say a Klingon comes through a doorway, ready to shoot. Someone uses his phaser rifle to knock that disruptor out of his hand. Bat'leth comes into play. There might be a bit of struggle. The Klingon might give the other guy a push. The Starfleet officer backs away. The Klingon has his bat'leth, grabs it by the two lower holes in the weapon, and thrust. The curve of the blade will go into the face. It's actually more natural to do this move than do this move, right? This move is much more natural to the human body. Going forward, the curve of the blade will ensure that you strike the face or the throat. And from here, of course, the next step in rifle and bayonet fighting, rifle stock, but with the bat'leth, you have the curve. Go in with those two curved edges, points where the rifle stock would be. You don't have to switch grip, you already have it. So again, strike the face and throat. And from here, from that strike, you can go into the cut, and you will strike the face or the neck or the throat. And since the bat'leth is curved, I imagine you can actually hook the neck at this point and drag the enemy down. If it's stuck in his neck, it's there, drag him down, and then you can do with him as you please. And also, even if this is not a dead target at this point in time, you have the option to, like we said, with the magazine strike, push with the edged handguard of the bat'leth. So we looking at historical techniques, the bat'leth has some validity to it, especially as Seltzer mentioned. If the guy is wearing armor and the other guy is also wearing armor, you can use it to effectively block lines of attack, go in and basically half sorting, the old technique of half sorting with a sword. You now have that with the bat'leth, and you can aim for specific points in the armor, go in, find the chinks, and push for a kill. And like Seltzer also found out and showed us, that if you grab the bat'leth at the top, you can actually use the bat'leth almost like a dagger and precisely aim for a chink in the armor and go in and press that in to the vitals if exposed. What else? Yeah, so ancient techniques works with the bat'leth. The HEMA practitioners that are credible and respected, as far as I understand it, tell us that the bat'leth actually can be excused, that there is some validity to the design. And if we're looking at modern combat techniques with an assault rifle, with a bayonet attached or without, it works in that context as well. You have all the motions that you need to use an assault rifle today incorporated into the design of the bat'leth. So I think that all in all, since the bat'leth works with ancient techniques and modern techniques, I think it's a sensible, credible weapon. You have the blaster, or blaster, it's not Star Wars, disruptor that you can use, being ready to come around corners, cover long distances, suppress the enemy, move up, move up, move up. Oh, there's a hole in this shirt. It's my work shirt. And move up until you get into range. Throwing hand grenades, I don't know, the Klingon seems to think that's for, wimps. Suppress the enemy with disruptor fire, push in for a bayonet charge, where you remove the pistol, holster it, throw it to the side, and now it's time to kill. And it's been proven time and time again in modern era that a bayonet charge will freak out the enemy and they will drop everything and run. The French proved it in former Yugoslavia. They bayonet charged across a bridge. They ordered a bayonet charge across a bridge. They advanced across a bridge, enemies on the far side, suppression, 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 got close with bayonets fixed, they went in. And then we also have famously in Afghanistan, 3 British soldiers surrounded, outflanked, and they decided we're going to end this the proper way. They fixed bayonets and stormed the enemy, and the enemy got so surprised, so overwhelmed that they actually fled the scene. So if a Klingon can suppress the enemy, get in close, and they drop their pistols and grab their bat'leths and charge in against an enemy not trained for close combat, like everyone else is, basically no one except the Klingons trained for this type of warfare, the Klingons will overwhelm that position. They stand a good chance of overwhelming that position and scoring kills. You have this famous incident with a Gurkha, British Gurkha. What was it? Did he kill 30 or 40 people in hand-to-hand combat, holding a foxhole? And Taliban fighters were just storming in, and he killed them in hand-to-hand combat using his Gurkha knife and other tools. I believe that the final kill was with a tripod from a 50 cal. So it goes to show, if you have the skill sets of engaging untrained people in close combat, then you can overcome tremendous odds when you do get into that situation. Case in point, going back 300 years to the Great Northern War, the Swedish army at the time defeated, there was a huge war, lasted 21 years. The Swedish army, throughout those 21 years, defeated armies that outnumbered them 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, or 4 to 1, even 5 to 1. And why? The Swedish army did not train for long-range firefights. They trained for close combat with the bayonet and rapier. And so what they would do was run up to the enemy through those first volleys of fire and stop at 50 or 20. They would fire 2 volleys. So stop at 50 meters, fire a volley, move up with another rank, fire another volley, and then move in with the bayonet and rapier, and started killing people in hand-to-hand combat, because no one trained on it as extensively as the Swedes. Everyone was trained for shootouts with musket, and the Swedes went, we're not going to do that. We're going to run in and fight them in hand-to-hand, and since we're better at it, larger forces of enemies will break, fall apart, and flee. And the Swedish army scored massive victories doing this. In one battle, they didn't fire a single shot. They just fixed bayonet, ran across the field, and defeated an army 3 times the size of the Swedes. in hand-to-hand combat with the bayonet. So there is some logic to Klingon culture, Klingon tactics, and Klingon weapons. And when you combine everything, I think the conclusion is that Klingons with bat'leths can be excused in a universe like we see in Star Trek, despite all the fancy gear everyone else is using. Except if people started transporting Klingons out of combat, are ready to charge, and people actually use transporters to just transport the enemy out into space. But hey, plot line, right? Anyway, see you around. Bye.